Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery in our video studio today with a great new product that I'm excited to tell you all about. This is the Scott Longhorn Expert. So this is a back tension or hinge style release from the folks at Scott and the Scott Longhorn. If you've been around archery, this release has been out for a while and it's just had different iterations through the years. This is the latest and I think it's the greatest. So what we're looking at is a brass handle here, and it just is one of the, I think the geometry of this release is one of the nicest in archery. Just, I don't know, something about it fits my hand perfectly. I love this big sweeping third finger position here. It just feels good in your hand. I know at full draw, if I get stuck, I can just press my finger out on this a little bit and it brings that release around to get it to fire. Just a unique handle style, and that shape there, for me, I really love the shape of this handle. It is brass, as I mentioned, which is another thing. I like that heft of the brass handles, but that's what's the same about the Longhorn. What's new about it is right here. 2 moons, independent moons that are adjustable for, what you're gonna do is you're gonna be able to adjust the distance to the click and then the distance between click and fire. You need 2 moons to be able to adjust those independently. In the past, the Longhorn has had interchangeable moons, so you had a preset distances for click. There was a fast, a medium, and a slow. With the 2 moons, it's infinitely adjustable. You can adjust it any way you want, including no click. If you like no click, you can set this release this way, that way if you want as well. So I'm a huge fan of the 2 moons, super excited to see them here, and they're micro adjustable. So I'm gonna run through how you adjust them real quickly here. So let's say the first thing I want to do is adjust the distance to click. We're going to assume that I'm shooting this with a click. So I want to adjust the distance to the click. What that refers to is when I come back to anchor, what's my hand position? Where does it click? And then it's a short distance to fire. You know, some people like their hand to be forward. Some people like it flat. Some people like it a little bit backwards. You can adjust it wherever you want in there. So the first thing we're going to do is adjust the distance to click. And so what I'm going to do is I have a locking screw in here, in this hole right there. Incidentally, this is a post. You can see if I want to run a lanyard to a wrist strap, that's what this is for. But anyway, right behind there, this hole, this is where my locking screw is located. So I'm going to loosen that. Now that that is loosened, now right here I have my micro adjust drive screw, another excellent feature. You don't have to move this with your fingers and try and get it. This is micro adjust. So I'm going to take another Allen key, and now I'm going to make some crazy moves here so you can see it, so you can see the movements. But I want you to watch these 2 moons. So clockwise, what that does is it makes the release, it gets you to the click faster. You can see those 2 moons are moving down. By down, I mean this way. They're moving towards the handle. That is with me turning the key clockwise. Once I get all the way to the bottom. Now watch them come back up when I turn counterclockwise. Counterclockwise makes the release slower. You can see what we're looking at are the edge right here. You saw that came up. So in other words, the handle has to rotate more to get to the click. So that's what it means by faster or slower. So that's what you're going to set first. You're going to set the distance to the click. Now, when you're adjusting the distance from click to fire, you can see how this moon is sitting a little bit higher than this moon. That's the distance from click to fire. It clicks off of this moon and it fires off of this moon. And so how I move those independently is, once again, I have this loosened already. Now I'm going to come over here, and in this channel, I don't know if you can see it, but in that channel there is another Allen screw, and I need to unlock that. I need to loosen that one. So let's do that. How you access it is right here. You're going to hold it in this position. I reach into reach in there, and then I'm just going to loosen it. Okay, now I come back to my micro drive. And this time, what I want you to watch is the relationship between this moon and this moon. We're going to see it, well, first, I'll make it slower. Same thing. Counterclockwise will increase the distance between click and fire. Clockwise will decrease the distance. So I'll turn it clockwise first, and you can see that gap getting bigger. See that gap now? It's much bigger. So it's going to be a longer distance from the click to the fire. And if I turn it clockwise, it comes down. Incidentally, if you want no click, what you're going to do is you're either going to make them even with one another, or you're going to drop this one below. So even or below with this moon over there, that's going to be your no click. And so again, that was clockwise. I turned that. Of course, I like a little distance there, so move that up. Now I have click and fire. And once I'm done, once I have it set, you can play with it on the line. Then you're going to go back and you're going to lock everything down. Lock down that screw. And then come back here. Just turn that until it's tight. Now the release is set. So love that feature of the two moons and the micro adjust. That is out of this world for getting these things customized. Then another feature that they have here is a magnetic hook return. If you're familiar with Scott releases, for the longest time they used rubber bands. Well, now they have a magnet. And what the magnet does is it gets that click. When you're hooking this up to a release and it's free floating, sometimes they are, this hook can, you have to kind of constantly reach around with your finger to make sure it's set. So there is a magnet in there that makes sure that it will always return to that position. The head, you're still going to have to set that when you connect to the D-loop. So the head is still free floating, but the magnet is in there to auto-return the hook. Just so that you don't have to fight with it when you're on the line. Sometimes they flop out. And again, as I said, you got to reach around with your finger. So now you don't have to do that. You can just hook up and go. So that is, it's exciting for me to see the upgrades to the Longhorn because I just love this handle. And now with the individual moons for click and fire and micro adjust, I think this is the ultimate release right here. And I should mention that it does come in two sizes. There's going to be a standard, which I have here, and a small. I haven't seen the small to see how big that is, but there's the standard, and you can see how that fits in my hand. It fits pretty comfortably, I like that. Of course, thumb peg they have there it's got nice etchings into it, so it gives you good traction on your thumb there. Just a great release there from the folks at Scott. Glad to see them upgrading it with those new improvements. All right, so that is the new Scott Longhorn Expert Great release, updated release, not really new, but updated release from the folks at Scott. If you want to see this release on our website, be sure to click the link in the description below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. And as always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at lancasterarchery.com.